This is what reminds me of what Brian Chesky once said. I was watching this talk where he was delivering a talk to college students along with the founder of LinkedIn. He mentioned one thing and that stuck with me. He said, do things that don't scale. And what he meant by that is that I think this came from Paul Graham when they were building Airbnb. Paul Graham said that you should do things that don't scale, as in, don't build a company that's going to go on to become $1 billion company. Just build a company that can serve 100 customers in a way that they would remember and tell other people.
Yeah.
So what Brian Chesky did is he literally went to every homeowner's house, spoke to every guest. In fact, one of the founders actually acted as a photographer because they understood that homeowners are not able to click good pictures even though they had a great house. And that is how they were able to catch hold of those 100 customers who then went and told other people about it across the world, because of which Airbnb was able to solve its cold start problem. But if you ask any so-called seasoned entrepreneur who does not have his ears to the ground, he would tell you that just roll out incentives for both customers as well as homeowners and they'll just come flocking in. And on the outside, it looks like a sustainable way to grow, considering the fact that you have $1 billion in your bank. But what these people did was actually sustainable, but came at zero cost, which is so interesting. So you're saying that you should do things that don't scale. One of that is having your ears to the ground, which is as you scale, it is important to communicate with the customers. And you also mentioned the NPS mechanism to measure where the customer is happy, where the customer is not happy, so that you have a clear breakup of what exactly is the small business owner or the partner unhappy about, so that you can accumulate them together, understand what is the issue and then solve them.
Yeah, look, I think first off, I think we are, of course, incredibly inspired by Brian and his team at Airbnb. Airbnb is also a shareholder at Oyo.
Oh.
So I think every time I have met Brian, I've come back being even more inspired, and we've enjoyed working with Airbnb as a partner. And I've listened to this getting your act right up front. I think my view is of the same thing, or my view is similar, but probably slightly unique to our business or what I have learned over the years. It is that I often ask myself that it is a proven fact that founder-driven companies end up creating more value than only professional-driven companies. It's a proven fact. There's enough case studies to talk about it. So what can a founder bring uniquely that others can't bring? And let me try and sort of contextualize it at the Oyo setting. At the Oyo setting, I am the least educated, I am the least experienced, and I am the least probably proven talent in the management team, right? There are probably 4 people who worked at McKinsey and did really well there, 2 people who went to Harvard Business School, and various others, right? Very competent folks. And when I look at them, I feel like, they know, and their ability to execute is so good that, I have a lot to learn from them. So I ask myself that what can I bring uniquely to the table, which can help our company expand and be even more successful? So I think being able to bring unique context is one thing that brings this difference. Second, which is what I do with this client meetings around the world. Second thing that I can bring is high quality product building. I think that's an important part where, because I'm so close to my own customers, my ability to help create the product experiences that we feel could make sense. Like a simple part of it is that if you flip open the Oyo app, the time taken from the homepage to the time your booking is done is probably the fastest among any other hotel app. You push 2 buttons and your booking is done. It may seem like such an easy thing to do, but the behind the scenes is you have to have live inventory, and hence your POS device has to be actively used in 100% of your 11,000 hotels in India. Second, you have to make sure that the check-in experiences are healthy, and in order to make sure that, how do you ensure that the front office manager is well trained to ensure the experience is good quality? Third, how do you convince a hotel owner to accept a paid hotel reservation, because you can't have 2 buttons if the payment friction is there in the middle? Fourth, how do you enable ability to see live inventory across channels? That's why we have to become the single franchisor of the individual hotel, wherein the hotel distributes to Oyo and Oyo distributes on its own app, but it also distributes using Booking.com, Expedia, Airbnb, and many other websites as well. So that way we see all the bookings coming into the hotel and hence are able to truly give visibility of the live inventory. And then if there is those, 1 year back higher percentage, but now in that 1% range where the customer doesn't get the best experience, how do you respond to it? All of this effort goes in to make just those 2 steps happen, right? So my perspective is product design and development is the second area that I think an entrepreneur can bring unique value on the table. And the third is, of course, being able to set clarity with the company's goals. I think I call myself Chief Clarity Officer, which is if you speak to any colleague or team member who's considering leaving a company, among the top 3 reasons, I've often found a reason which is I don't have clarity of what I am doing or what I should do to be successful. And I try to make sure that I can help provide clarity to our people about the work they should do to be able to make sure the company and themselves are successful in the long term. But I think that's true for most entrepreneurs. Not in that order, of course, but those are the 3 things I would say.
Hi guys, thank you so much for watching the Indian Business Podcast. If you find value in our work, please hit that subscribe button because for you it might be a 0 effort task, but for us that subscriber count is an important instrument to get great guests to our podcast and to make this podcast better for you. So if you find value, please subscribe.